Well, all right. Welcome to Ladies Listen Up, Part 2. Why Some Men Cheat. We've been talking about this hot topic of Mr. Derek Jackson and
Right.
Denia Jackson.
I think her name was Danae, I
Is
believe.
Denia? Okay.
I believe so.
Denia Jackson. Actually, on her Instagram page, so I kind of went and did a little research. Her Instagram page does say Denia. So you're right.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay. So we left off from part one, talking about the women that knew that he was married.
Yeah. It is very easy. Like I said, rightfully so. Derek should get a lot of the blame because no one has to respect your marriage but you and your
Mm,
significant other.
mm-hmm.
So, like they said, marriage is all this, this sacred and this. No, no one has to deem it as sacred except for the people that are involved in that marriage. Now, his wife should not get any. It's bold that she's getting a lot of this backlash, a lot of look how she look and she looked bold and homely and all that. I think she's a beautiful woman. She's a gorgeous woman, and you know you just got to look past what a person chill around the crib being. No one, I hope, no one walks around trying to be glammed up all day like they're a celebrity or what.
Okay, hold on. In my defense, and in the ladies, I'm going to defend you here. Okay, glammed up is one thing. I get all that. Nobody talking about no full makeup, no full face. But some people just really feel comfortable in
In a
their.
full face.
Okay, no. Okay, not around the house. I'm not even gonna say a full face around the house. But when you say glammed up, though, I mean, let me think about
I
it.
mean, you don't have to look like you're walking down a red carpet every day. It's
No,
like, I mean, some people are really comfortable in their own skin. And she seems to be one of those women that just seems to be comfortable with her natural everyday look or whatever,
mm-hmm.
and she shouldn't be judged unfairly because of that.
No,
And
absolutely.
some people are saying, "Oh, I see why they cheat on her. Look at this woman over here, as opposed to looking at her." But you're looking at two different pictures. You're looking at a person that's in casual wear and just chilling around, bumming around the crib, to somebody that's probably been out, or this is what they do on a regular basis because I'm trying to be seen. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. But then too, like you said too, Sharon, we talked about that in our episode about makeup or no makeup. Again, like you're saying, people are judging by their preference, and so
right.
I mean, some women do feel comfortable in just being just, I guess, just comfortable without, like you said, the glammed up or makeup or whatever, or what have you, just depends. And then some people are, they like the silky lingerie around the house or whatever, that's just their thing. So it just depends. And I think it's just, for me personally, you know, putting that judgment on somebody, based on, I mean, it's just like, this is how this society is, even with like the
Yeah.
magazines and everything. Everybody is airbrushed or whatever, and I kind of talk about that jokingly about the glammed up thing or whatever, but being able to be yourself and be comfortable in your skin and not be judged by it, that's gold right there.
I mean, you can see it. You can see it by the amount of usage that filters get on a daily basis. When I do a photo shoot with somebody, and they'll turn around and say, "Well, can you doctor this, fix that?" That's not you. Then, if I'm shaving off and curving you up and get rid of this blemish and that blemish and this, okay, yeah. At the end of the day, that is a photographer's job to make you look good. But for
Mm-hmm.
me, when I have sessions with folks, it's like, look, have just have the right makeup on.
Mm-hmm.
Come. Well, I don't like to do fixing in the post. The only artificial stuff on you or that we should add to you or whatever should be just the makeup. But I prefer, natural shoots. I prefer, you know, just be you. I don't want any computer enhancements or anything like that. So like when you see people on Facebook, what is it? A bunch of filters, smoothing out the skin to the point where they get this fake look. They smooth it out so much where you don't see the lines in their faces anymore that give them depth and dimension and this and that and the other. And it's like people are not comfortable in their own skin. And unfortunately, that was part of the social engineering, experiment is getting people to not like themselves. You know, hey,
Mm.
accept themselves for who they are.
Right. Right.
But what we were talking about was the women that knew he was married though, and still allowed him to have access to him. You
Mhm.
know, and I'm just wondering, like, okay, don't tell. See, women, and just speaking to someone, they says, women when they're interested, they do research, on men. So it's
Mhm.
like, hey, if they got a friend that's a cop, they'll get your place ran. If they'll find out everything they need to know when they're interested about you. It's not like you had to look hard for Derek though, because he's all over social media. He's been on the Breakfast Club. I believe either the Breakfast Club or he did something with Charlemagne, and he's been on. I want to say, was it The View? It was one of those women's talk shows or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, he's been all over the place. He has 738,000 subscribers. Right?
Mhm. Mhm.
How do you not know this man is married? Or is it just that you don't care?
Well, you know what? I think that's part of it, the not caring part of it, or go back to what you said about no one has to respect the marriage but the parties in the marriage. But it goes back to the women that don't respect the marriage, that don't respect that, doesn't respect that relationship. And Ray Charles, one of the lines that I'll never forget is when Marjorie got pregnant, which was his. If for those that have not seen it, was the girl that he was messing around with on the road. Ray Charles, meaning Ray Charles in the movie Ray. And when she got pregnant, and she was telling him, "I want you to leave your wife, and I want you to be with me." And the one thing that he told her flat out, "You knew what the deal was when we started this. So you already knew." And so when he rejected the child and all of that, and she just had a total fit, then you want to go again destroying things and tearing up things because he said it from the beginning, not defending him whatsoever, but he's making this choice to step out on his marriage. And then the women, a lot of times women, I've heard women to say that they rather date a married man. And they said that they rather date a married
Yeah.
man because they don't have all the responsibilities that go along with taking care of them. They say, let her do it. But I think we have just been morally bankrupt to where we just don't care. Like we've thrown all of our values out of the window. And then what happens? We get disasters like this. Denia said it in the interview where she and he was holding hands. She said, again, I just see her what she's saying through a lot of hurt and brokenness, but she did say that he you know that she said he didn't have the right to bring other women into the relationship or into the marriage, and I mean, it just and it's true because you do when you open that door to infidelity, you open the door to other people being a part of your relationship, and then what do
Yeah.
you think? I mean, I think like you said earlier when you said it's a uh, you said men are predators or they can become predators or what have you, and they're going after the next prey or what have you. But I
Yeah.
think people
We're
do that
a lot of us on the hunt.
on the hunt without any regards to the fallout. It's that instant gratification.
Hmm. I mean, hell, I've been there. I mean, I've done it. So it's not like, and I don't want people to think like, oh, he going in on Derek. I've been on both sides. I've been the cheater and the cheated on. So I know what his wife feels like, as far as that goes, and I know what Derek feels like, especially once you get caught. It's like, oh damn, the jig is up. It's like, and a lot of times you're faced with, I might lose it all. The mistress, the missus, I might just lose it everything. But you know, it is wrong no matter how you look at it. I mean, I can't defend them, but what I'm saying is a lot of times women, will lie and say I didn't know he was involved. Oh, you knew he was involved because a lot of times, even if he spends a significant amount of time with you, there's going to be certain things that he cannot do with you, no matter what. You might want them. Hey, spend the night. Uh, no, I can't do that. Come through on a holiday. Now that's like a major no. Or he might dip it. It's like testing the water with his toe. Like he might dip his toe into your crib for a second and be like, "Hey, I saw you. I mean, yeah, I gotta go. I get family and all this other stuff." But it's actually he better be at home with his wife and his kids, or his girl and his kids. So
Mm-hmm.
there's always signs that tell you that a person is involved with somebody else on a serious level because you're not getting all that time that you want to get. But like I said, some people have relegated themselves to playing the number two position, and if that's what you're gonna do, you know, I've often joked, and I'm gonna find it for you because I wrote a side piece contract. If it's just like once you're the side piece, and you said this, you're okay with this, you need to be okay with it, or you're gonna get kicked out the side piece union. So I'm coming to
But
these, these are unionized jobs right here. You're the side piece. You're nothing else. All you are, you're the stress reliever. You're the
mm,
main woman. The breather. You're the It's like, hey, I'm so mad. I need to come see you and take this. And I need. That's it. You don't supposed to add no more stress to this man's life. You're the one. You're like Jim, going to the gym, hitting the bag, when the dude is just frustrated and I can't talk to my wife, but I'm gonna come and I'm gonna let it out on you, you know, and not in a physical abusive way, but I'm gonna come see you. You're the side piece. You have no rights, none, zero. You signed those away when you said I'm going to be the side piece. Enjoy being see the
wow.
wife or the husband, they're the roast, you know they're the steak, you know and the side piece, you might be the broccoli with cheese, or you might be the mashed potatoes with gravy, you know what I'm saying, or you might be the tea, and she might be the tea and you're the ice that goes in the tea. You're not the main thing because I can drink this tea without this ice. You know what I'm saying? I can eat this steak without the mashed potatoes. You're a side piece. I don't want to eat just regular mashed potatoes and gravy.
I'm not gonna have no lip yaps left because I'm trying. This is called "Ladies Listen Up." What men really think, and it's so I'm biting my tongue. I'm doing all these things because we need to hear what you really have to say. I'm thinking about while you're saying this. I'm like, okay, and I'm not trying to judge or be in a judgment seat or any of that. I'm just saying.
Right.
I'm saying is that I think a lot of folks feel like if they get their toe in the door as the side piece, the side chick or whatever, then they can. I was gonna
Make
say a
their
couple
way
other
to
things.
the
They can
top
make.
spot.
They can do that. A lot of people think a lot of. I think because I've heard it. I'm not just thinking. I'm just guessing or assuming. They think that they can. And the thing of it is that they're thinking that they can. You know, the only way to say it is screw them into a submission. I guess that's the only way I could say it. I was trying to say it. I was trying to think of
Oh
a better
man,
way, but
you hanging out with me now. You been hanging around me too long.
you took me there. I'm trying to hold my peace, trying to hold my composure. I'm trying to stay on this side. You done pulled me over there.
Hey,
But I'm just saying, Sherrod, though, that's what I think. I've heard it though too. And the thing too is that the thing I think I get so like frustrated about or so aggravated about is that when you are in a place where you say, okay, like I have relationships with different men as far as like business associates and people that I work with, and I'm just not one for believing that I just think that's off limits. And again, it's probably my upbringing or whatever is off limits to mess around with somebody else's partner. I think you set yourself up for total devastation because I mean we are emotional beings, and when we spend time with somebody we do start to, now you can bury those feelings, you can start to cover it up or deny it or any of those things, but we are human beings and so we are relational. And so one of the things that, I've heard is even more devastating than the physical infidelity, which is devastating, but is the emotional attachment. Because the emotional, and I guess I didn't see the latest episode of him talking about, what's going on, but he talked about, I guess the girl's name was Candace or something like that, where he was emotionally involved with her for years, even throughout his
Oh,
marriage.
which one? I mean,
I know, right? Okay, so let's take that one off the table because you're absolutely right.
hey,
Absolutely right.
hey.
Which one? What? Just
All I
I
can
don't
think
know.
about
Go,
is
Sharad,
Tupac. I
take
get
it.
around. Dude was getting around.
Just take it, Sharad. I don't know. When I say y'all just knocked
And
me
like I
off my
said,
square today. It's like it's really it's this is a challenging topic because it's like I get because it's a choice for me. It's all about a choice. And not
yep.
saying I've always been no, self righteous this or nothing like that. But I'm just saying you get to a point in your life when you want something that's real. I've seen some relationships, and I don't believe again not in this situation because first of all I think that in order to start going into that forgiveness and repentance side or wherever you want to take it, you have to have accountability for your actions, and I don't see any in this situation.
You know what? I don't see him, and I'm gonna tell you why. I don't see him really genuinely saying, "Dang, I messed up. I'm sorry." This and that and the other. I just see him saying the words that he knows his wife wants to hear. You know, I think he's one of those dudes that's like, you know what? I don't have to really mean it. All I have to do is say it and sound convincing at it, and she's going to believe me because it's not about what I feel, it's actually about what she feels. So if I can get her to feel like I'm getting ready to stop and stop cheating and doing all this other stuff, I'm good, we good, and all's good with the world, and we going to keep it moving. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that's the whole thing is that he's a master manipulator. That's what he is, and he has her, and her beliefs has her thinking a certain type of way, and all he has to come to is the realization that, hey, if I repent with my wife and say I repented to God and I'm sorry and I gave it all up to Jesus, and he's gonna wash and cleanse my sins away and I'm gonna be all great and gravy again, she's gonna believe it. And that's what it sounds like. It sounds like, hey, her religion told her to stick through this joint, through thick and thin, the whole 9 yards. And you know what? Hey, maybe she knows something we don't know. Well, obviously she knows something we don't know. We're on the outside looking in. But there was even rumors that dude was messing with old girl all the way up until like last week or something. Even after the interview, she said he came through, you know, and
So that's what I say about, and I go back to the thing that I say about brokenness. It's not something that you just. I mean, even when you believe and you pray about it, it's still action behind that prayer. And this is the one thing that I say. People always say that, okay, I'm gonna pray about it and it's just gonna be better. But even in scripture says that faith without works is dead. So you have to work on it. You have to go and get that thing healed from deep inside, because we can come out and we can say whatever we want to say. Those are just words. But it's your actions, your constant action that actually is what we go by. Is how is this over time. And if you still cheating or still messing around or whatever, a week after you apologize, then there's no real true repentance. It's turning away from it and not doing it anymore. I've seen couples, and we talk about marriage and I've seen a couple, and this was many years ago, but both of them were married, but they just met each other while they were playing around. Basically, both of them, from my understanding, was in abusive marriage, and well, she was in an abusive marriage and he was in a marriage because of the children. He got married because she was pregnant, and he got married and had more children, but he was unhappy all the way through the marriage. So they both were cheating. And they both left their prospective marriages, came together. And from my understanding and what I witnessed myself, they were married for over 45 years together until till death do them part. And they were like just in this whirlwind kind of marriage. You saw one, you saw the other. They were always joking around with each other, just really you could see the love. You know, sometimes you can feel it and you can see it on certain people. You can
Mm-hmm.
see it in their body language. You can see it in how they take care of one another. Do they make sure each other is okay? And when you have that kind of a relationship or a marriage, then you don't let other stuff get in there. So I was saying that to say that I just think it's all comes down to a choice. Like it's a choice of who do you want to be? What kind of person do
Yeah.
you want to be? You said something to me a little while ago about the Cosby Show, about the relationship between the Huxtables,
Right.
and how that um what came to my mind from cheater to change. It's a choice. It's a choice now to say I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna be with a person that truly fulfills me and that I'm able to fulfill them. And now we're walking together because when we talk about us, we're energy. And so it just depends on what do you really want, because all of that to me, rotating women and or men or whatever, that's exhausting. That's a lot of work. I mean, that's me looking in though. That's a lot of work when you could take one person and check off your 80% and just go ahead and build this power couple together. But that would take two healthy people to do that though, right, Sherrod?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, honestly, yeah, I joke around about this a lot. I mean, I'm for real about the side pieces. Side pieces, they you know, they 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 help the world go around. You know what I'm saying? It's like, there's a place for side pieces, obviously, but if you're intending on living out your vows and telling the truth about the whole situation, you have to do without extracurricular activities with outside forces or people or whatnot. So yeah, it would take a very healthy relationship to look at something on the outside that looks good and just say, you know what, I'm good. I don't need it. You know, and
Oh, okay.
you know,
Okay. Uh-huh.
uh,
Oh, I want, go ahead, because it was something I was going to ask you and you made me forget.
I mean,
When you said a
I
side
mean,
piece is necessary, did you say that? Did I hear you
I
right?
mean, you know what they say, side pieces make the world go round for some, for some folks. I mean, you got to
Some folk.
realize you got dead relationships. You got relationships where folks and they don't get out on for whatever reason. Might be financial, might be because of the kids and whatnot. But you know what? Guess what? It stopped us from getting at each other when we go see our prospective side pieces. We come back. It's like, hey, how you doing? Hey, I'm good too. And we
Oh,
don't have to deal with each other on that level. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because we already been taken care of by the little shorty. And the maintenance man over there handling his business and whatnot. You know.
I guess we all negotiate our relationships because I mean, and I can't sit here judging because everybody have their own, you know,
Yeah.
form of negotiation or whatever. But I just said, I mean, I'm tired from the conversation of it. It's just, it just seems like I mean, somebody told me recently that you should be rotating. You should be rotating instead of dating exclusively or whatever. That's what they say, the new thing or whatever, rotating people, having a roster or whatever. And I'm like, okay, that's just work. That's too much. Is that what this world has really come to, Sherrod? Is that rosters
Hey,
rule
but you know
now?
what? If you look at TV, if TV is as big an influence as we think it is, and we know it is, you'll see side pieces are deemed to be the powerful one. The wife is always painted as this weak, docile woman that really, I'm just waiting on my man, waiting for him to get home. While the woman that's out there, just getting, slung and hung, see the power woman. She got the good job. Look at what's that? Gabrielle Union, Mary Jane or
Being
something like
Mary
that.
Jane. Being Mary
Hey,
Jane.
she was out there getting tossed up the whole 9 yards, and You know, she had a new hookup every it seemed like every other episode, but she going back and forth with this. I mean, I remember watching the episode with my son. I saw one episode, and I'm like, this is stupid. This is really stupid. This is actually glorifying the side piece. This is glorifying, not being in a committed relationship. But then, like I said, you have the side piece running around and saying, "Oh, I'm blessed. I'm living my best life." But then you turn around, you start complaining on social media. Men ain't this. Men ain't that. Well,
And
you
have it
knew he
both
was married.
ways. Right.
You
Right.
knew all of this stuff in the beginning. You knew he was married. So, evidently, the individual that should be the individual that's at fault is really the individual that let my man come through and do what he want to do, and you knew what was up.
Yeah.
Like I say, we don't take the blame from dude messing around on his wife, but for how he treats you, especially since because I can't like Ray Charles said, I'm not leaving the beautiful bee. I'm not leaving
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
You know what
She
I'm saying?
had a.
So you knew this, but I'm gonna write you this hit song called "Hit the Road, Jack."
That was awful. I was like, "Whoa!" And she said, "I'm out of here. Well, I'm on your hit record," and he still called her baby.
And
He
that's still
still
one of the
said it.
biggest.
I'm like,
Hey, look.
he said, "Yeah, that's the fire I want. That's the fire I want." But hold on, go back to being Mary Jane. One thing that she did say, which I think again was crazy, but she told the wife, "Don't be lazy." I don't know if you saw
And you
that
know what?
episode, but she was told the wife, "Don't be lazy sexually." And so I don't know. I'm just from the school of thought. If you communicate, we're going back to the 5 C's again. If you communicate with your partner, the wife shouldn't be that docile one. I'm just waiting here for my husband,
Mm-hmm.
ironing, underclothes or whatever. You can be that exciting wife for your husband. You can be that, I mean, but you got to learn them. You got to learn what it is that he wants. You got to be quiet and listen. And I'm going to get some backlash from that one, but we can't hear if we're talking. Like,
Okay, but
it's okay
now
to express how we feel, but you gotta know your partner, male and female. I'm just saying you gotta know your partner.
and then saying that, okay, that's exactly true because you can't start out a relationship hot and heavy, sexual and this and that and the other. I'm giving it to him every time. Then we get married, like, oh, I'm tired. Oh, it's
Mm-mm.
4 months done passed. No, but if that's how if y'all started your relationship off and sex was not like a big part of it, you can't. I mean, you can ask him or her to change. Like, look, I need it more often than this and that and the other. But you accepted this fact when you came into the relationship. They said, "Hey, I'm not a very sexual person." I've told her, I've heard a woman say, "Hey, once a month is good for me," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, I mean, me and you ain't gonna be talking." You know what
Help them, y'all. No, but Sherrod, that goes back to me. You making me sound like a broke record because that goes back to the interrogation up front, and you find out those vital points up front because then like but you said it. You said no, you're not gonna be the one for me. And then the thing of it is, I mean, okay, we say 80-20, but 20 can't be a part of your deal breakers. The 20% cannot be a part of your deal breakers. It have to be the 80%. And but I do honestly think, and that's something that, going back to what we talked about the church thing. I just loved with the church that I used to be a part of because when the pastor was talking about relationships, that is where a lot of things that I learned a lot from there because he shut the door and was like, let's be real, okay. However you start off your relationship, ladies, if you start off your relationship glammed up or not glammed up, whatever your glammed up is, because even a
right?
lady that's not putting makeup on, her glammed up is still being feminine. Her glammed up is still, okay. And then finding out if your mate, is highly, has a high nature, then why am I putting my application in with this man that I know is high nature if I'm not?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You setting yourself up for failure. There's already enough in this world that's gonna come at us that we don't. The things that we have that we can control. If we control those things, then we can set ourselves up for a greater outcome. So
Right.
again, if you hot and heavy at the beginning, don't just do things because you think that's what he wants you to do or that's what she wants you to do. If
Yeah.
you are learning how to be yourself, and I'm preaching to the choir because I'm just coming into understanding these things for myself. Hence why we're doing this show. Ladies, listen up, because we need to really, that's why I said that up earlier about if we learn how to be quiet and just listen and learn and then apply, that helps us to get a better outcome. So if you know your man wanted 5 days a week and you are once a monther, then that's not.
Right. Right.
And then if I mean, you can make it exciting. And if you listen and just, I mean, I think that's the whole thing. It's the communication part of it. But then people don't always communicate what they really want.
That's true. There's a lot of times where folks will not be upfront with you about anything until we're in an argument or emotions are running high, and then I'm gonna let you know what's on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's the person's fault too that does not bring it to the attention of the individual that they're with. If this individual has stopped doing certain things, then you got to bring it to that person's attention, and then
Mm-hmm.
whatever happens from that point after that
Mm-hmm.
is told to that person, hey, it's whatever. It's whatever from there. If I communicate to you what it is I want and you don't reciprocate, then it should be that should be part of that. Look, I'm out of here. Then I need X, Y, and Z, and I'm not getting it. You
Yeah.
know, I joke around about I don't joke around about sex. I just laugh when I'm saying it, but I'm serious. Sex is really important in a relationship. You know, and we just get out here and we just use it for the wrong things a lot of time. But sex is a lot of time, or I think was really for us to procreate with. That's one, but it's actually the physical side of what we feel for an individual, emotionally, spiritually, the whole 9 yards. That's just us. That's just it. That's just those things manifests itself through sex, supposedly. Because
Mm-hmm.
nowadays we know people just get out here just slanging and banging, and then just for the hell of it because they can.
I think to that point, Sherrod, two things. I think that that's absolutely correct. I think it's the glue that holds that couple together. Like I talked about the couple that was together for 45 years. They constantly touched one another. I don't mean being a nag and just being all over that person, but I mean
Yeah.
every day, that I saw them, every day it was, a natural, a hug, a kiss, a wink, a smile, and even, just, and sometimes I think, you know, it's just those little things. It's the things that keep it exciting. It's the not letting life get so crazy around you that you
Mm-hmm.
forget that thing that brought y'all together, because then you start letting the fire go out. It's about keeping the fire burning. It's about, if it's about that open communication with each other. It's about, staying young and youthful, playing games, doing things together, spending quality time together, not letting everything else get so important, because before you know it, you look up and you lose it. I was looking at a movie the other day, yesterday. It was really funny because the parents were so engaging when they were like dating and stuff. I mean, they was doing all kinds of things, flying off the building and doing all kinds of stuff. Helen, what is that? Parachuting down, and it was just really
Mm-hmm.
fun. Then they had the children, and they realized that now they're saying no. I'm gonna do that as one of the reviews too. Now they're saying no to everything. Okay, and so the kids was like, man, y'all like he did what they say a army sergeant or whatever. And the mother realized, she was like, man, that's all we do now. All we do is say no. So we're gonna have a yes day. So I'm just saying that to say that, creating those types of experiences, you can't let life just come in and just tear all that apart for you, because then you
Right.
will find yourself over here looking out the window somewhere and him over there looking out the window somewhere else. But
Yeah.
keeping it cohesive and keeping it together, and that's the glue. I learned that from one of the, I forget what I was reading, but about how important it is for touching and for intimacy, like true intimacy, learning each other, experimenting with different things, and being honest. Okay, yeah, that hurt. I don't want to do that, whatever. But just being honest with one another, and just keeping it exciting. I think that's something that happens. And then
Right.
sometimes people that are together a lot, they take each other for granted, And when somebody takes you for granted, then you feel it, you know it. There's nothing wrong with the pleases and the thank yous and I love you babies and all of that. Those are all things,
No.
music to the ears.
Yeah, it definitely is, especially when you're somebody that thrives on touch. You know,
Yeah.
hey, I like to touch my significant other.
Mhm.
And I've said this on one of the podcasts. Hey, just because we're touching and feeling on each other, that don't mean we're about to have sex. It's just that's what I like doing. You know,
Mhm.
when your woman or man is attractive, why not touch them? Why not let them know, hey, I see you over here. You looking
Mhm.
good. I mean, I know you working from your computer, but when it's over with, we about to pop this thing. All right, I'm a,
Right.
you gotta
No, right.
show your mate that, hey, I'm into you, and I I don't need to step outside. I don't need to do this and that and the other. But getting back to stepping out, when you step out, it's not. And then let me make this clear. So when you step out, it's not. At least when I did it, it wasn't like what was in front of me wasn't really good and this and that and the other. Man, this joint was just straight greedy. It was like, yo, it's like appetite was just up there, saw something I desired, and then I went after it. It wasn't nothing to do with her. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing she didn't do, she did, or whatever. Because, it's like, hey, I was just, you know, wanting more. Wanting more. It wasn't wanting more from her. It was just wanting just of the variety. That's what it was. So
Could it be the right person just at the wrong time?
it could be that, definitely, a lot of times. I mean, put it this way: just because two people are good people, that don't mean they're good for each other. And yes, sure, it's all about choices.
Mhm.
E40 said, "Hey, we all got choices,"
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
we do, and sometimes we make bad choices, and
Mhm.
sometimes we do it a lot. Sometimes we get caught up in our own BS. That's why I said, own your.
Mhm. Own it.
You have to.
Mhm.
You got to hold yourself accountable for your actions. And sometimes your actions lead to the hurt of someone else.
That's the accountability factor too, and that's the thing about loving somebody too, Sherrod. If I mean, loving them, I just keep going back to that. If you loving somebody, you really don't want them hurt. But I think that a lot of folks think they so smooth that they're not gonna get caught.
And you know what? Some people don't get caught. Hey, a young lady told me this. She said her she didn't find out about her husband's infidelities until he was dead. The woman came with the children that they had together. She said she didn't know that he was doing anything because he came home. He still sexed her down the right way, the way he was doing. She said he was perfect in every way. She says, and I'm not even mad because he kept his life out there away from here. And I'm
Hmm.
like, wow, that's really a mature way of thinking about it. Because some people be really upset that, hey, this man said he loved me, but he really didn't. I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna go out on a limb. Just because someone says I, just because someone cheats, that don't mean they don't love you. That's I don't subscribe to that way of thinking. It's like it's greed. That's all it is. It's somebody that's just greedy. Hey,
How can you tell greed up front if we saying it's about communication? And like she said, I mean, I don't know. I knew because I had this sense of, I mean, I just knew. I didn't know what it was, but I knew something was wrong. Something was off in my marriage. I knew it was something going
right.
on. It was that instinct that I had. And being Inspector Gadget, I investigated it and I found out what I found out. But just going back to that, the women that I hear said that they knew, they just chose to ignore some of the things, some of the signs, some of the what. Did we just have this instinctively? We know, no matter how many times somebody try to tell you that it's not this, or even are real good at hiding things up. There is something that always triggers that. I know. So I don't know, and I'm not discrediting what she's saying. I'm not discrediting it at all, but I'm just saying that there's an instinctive something in us as women, or I don't know about men. Do men have it too, Sherrod? Y'all
I
know
mean,
when the woman cheat?
yeah,
Oh yeah, you already
I
told
mean,
me about the car. Yeah.
you know, hey, you know, Bill Withers said, y'all women don't think men got intuition. You know, y'all think we don't. It's just that we express it differently. You
Mhm.
know, if I, you know, most men don't want anybody to know, yo, my wife is out there cheating. She did this and this and that and the other. And you know, you want to, you still in your head want to keep that angelic view of her, even though you know somebody else was smashing that boy. You know what I'm saying?
I'm keeping that warning on these videos with you, Sherrod. I'm keeping that adult warning on these videos because you never know what's going to happen.
You
and,
know.
and by association, I don't know. Anyways, but anyway, so what would you want to wrap us up with today? You know, what are your thoughts, your final thoughts on this subject?
Well, what we started out with was we started out talking about not blaming um, the wife for Derek's infidelities. You know, and women should know that, people should know it in general. A lot of times, what a person does is not because of you. It's because of what they feel inside. It's like they feel like they're missing something. It's not that you're lacking. It's that they just feel on the inside that they're missing something. You know, it's like, man, would this would this cracker taste better than this cracker? Oh, after a while, that cracker is just another cracker with a different flavor. You know, so we have to understand what people do is solely on them. I'm gonna say 99% of the time. You know, I'm gonna go 99.9% of the time because we still have a choice at the end of the day. If an individual is not treating you right in the marriage, and instead of cheat, just leave it alone. Then that way you don't become a cheater.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
That closing
so
that.
it's not, you know. So we're speaking of infidelities from a man, you know, from a man doing it. So now let's just realize, women should know that it's not really about you. It's not. It's just about this dude having these desires, these wants, this these urges, and he just go get what he wants.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's an ongoing topic or subject because you
Oh yeah.
know when it boils down to is to thyself be true is what I've learned, and I've learned it through hard knocks and bruises. I've learned it that way, and so it's a different experience to start really understanding that you have a voice and you deserve to have like the best life that you can possibly,
Hmm.
create for yourself. And in order to do that, you have to know yourself. You have to know what your boundaries are. For the longest, I didn't know what my boundaries were, and I was too busy pleasing everybody else, and I was
Right.
getting the short end of the stick. So, to yourself, be true, learn who you are, know that, you were made unique and beautiful with your own set of fingerprints, and just don't I say this part of it, and I say don't compare yourself to anybody else. No matter what the media puts
Right.
out there is beautiful, or no matter what, this shape, this, that, or whatever, you're beautiful and unique in your own light. And just start learning that. If it's positive affirmations, if it's low self-esteem, if it's whatever it is that's allowing you to accept less than what you absolutely deserve, and that's the very best, then that's where the focus should be. That's where the energy should
Right.
be. Because like Sherrod just said, people gonna do what they want to do. You can't control them, but what you can
Right.
control is yourself. So with that being said, Sherrod, I thank you for another amazing, amazing episode. Thank you for your time and for being here and caring enough to share. I appreciate you, and I appreciate our audience, and we're gonna keep getting better and better and
Oh
better.
yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
don't forget, you all, like, share, subscribe, stay fearless, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.